Oh, hello.
Gather up all of the crew. It's time to ship our faces.
Welcome back. Sorry for the pause. I've been very busy, but we're back discussing the One Piece live action season 2, episode 2, Good Whale Hunting. The episode names are so fun and creative. I love what they've done with their little nods to other things. I don't know why I did this. Before we start discussing like what happens in the anime and versus live action, I want to preface somebody commented under my first video, so shout out to you, and enlightened me that the showrunners are using the manga as their Bible. That is what they are going off of. So it's not supposed to be accurate to the anime because that's not what they are trying to recreate. They're trying to recreate the original, which the anime was like, if you're copying a copy of the original, then it's going to be more different.
We don't have the rights to the anime. We have the rights to the manga.
If you're just looking at the anime, you're doing an adaptation of an adaptation, whereas the manga is the original source material. That's the Bible. So sometimes the anime does things differently.
So I love that they're doing that, and I plan to read all the manga, but I will not be comparing the live action to the manga in this video because I'm only like 3 volumes in, and even less with my read through with you guys. And I've completely stopped reading it because I plan to read it all 4 videos in my little One Piece Told by Me series, so that I have we're reading it together for the first time, and unless you've already read it, that's totally fine. But yeah, so I didn't want to kind of spoil that part of the manga for myself, even though I know like what kind of happens. Obviously, I understand differences from the anime, but I'm gonna compare it anyway. Okay, so just take it with a grain of salt. Okay, we start going up Reverse Mountain. Like, it's just such a fun, action-filled episode. Like, I feel like you can really feel the tonal shift from season 1, where things were more grounded and like crazy things were happening. This is already like, oh my god, it's episode 2 and we're going up Reverse Mountain. You can feel the scale shift from season 1 to season 2, which was intentional. But I much preferred the live action, like going up Reverse Mountain, to the anime, even though I love them both. But I feel like they just pack so much into the live action. Like, there's so much thought put into like little tiny moments of like what character should be doing this, what character should be doing that. Also, there's no I forgot to mention, in the anime, I didn't realize until I researched this, Apis, Grandpa Ryu, and Lost Island, that whole like little arc, small little filler arc, is like not in the manga, which I found really interesting because I liked Apis. Like, I thought she was really silly. I liked her terrible cooking, and like the crew being like and like kind of parenting this child for a little bit. Like, I thought that was silly to see. But I completely understand that if it's not in the manga, they didn't feel that that was necessary. I was shocked that that wasn't a thing that Oda had written. Like, the animation studio, with which I have some gripes with later in the anime, were like, let's just take creative liberty and add this thing in. It feels like, I don't know, Dragons feels like a big creative liberty. It just feels like damn, like I was interested in the lore of the Lost Island, and if you don't know it, you should watch that part of the anime. It's fun. But I was just shocked that that wasn't actually a thing that was in the manga. So, like, when I was preparing for this video, I was gonna be like, hey, there was no Lost Island, but no, it's not in the manga, so that's why it's not there. When they're going up Reverse Mountain, that like one bitch from the Lost Island arc is on their boat, and they like, boom, bye, and he's drowned, dead. So that was something missing for obvious reasons. I was so enthralled, like the watching them try to navigate up this mountain is so fun. And then like Sanji, like you're just on the edge of your seat. Sanji and Zoro and Usopp breaking the whip staff gives us a really silly line later.
At least I didn't break the whipstaff with my giant muscles. Not a compliment.
Not a compliment.
In the anime, they like bump into Laboon at the bottom of the Reverse Mountain, and the Going Mary's head falls off, and Luffy's like, my seat! I like forgot about that. He's so upset about his seat. But then like the Going Mary head is like off for a little while. I was like, oh, that's so devastating. Like, I understand his anger, but it was Laboon. I want to name a future dog of mine Laboon, so mark my words. I adore Laboon. Laboon is such a sweet angel. I am kind of jumping all over the place and not going completely chronologically through the episode, but I really liked that the live action changed it to be the reason that they left Laboon was Crocus was like, oh, I wouldn't want that on my conscience. Like, bringing that little whale with you, like, he's gonna die and it's gonna be your fault and you're gonna be sad about it. I like that it wasn't like they'd planned on leaving him. Like, they were like, oh, well, like, that scares me and I don't want that to happen to Laboon, so can you take care of him for a little while? I liked that more than them being like, hey, can you take care of Laboon? I liked that it was, like, more reluctant. Like, obviously it was a wise choice, but I liked that it was not as like, oh yeah, take care of Laboon for us. You know, not that it was. I'm just like, if that was my Shayla, I wouldn't be like, all right, Laboon, see you in some years, maybe, or maybe not. Yeah, it's a big decision to leave your Shayla there. Anyways, I liked that change, although maybe that's how it was in the manga. Couldn't tell you for sure yet, but stick around in the One Piece Told by Me series and we'll find out together. Then I loved the bits of joy we saw from Nami. Like, happy Nami literally is the wind in my wings, the light on my face. I don't know, bro.
She doesn't weigh me down. She picks me up, bitch. She's the wind beneath my wings.
I love seeing Nami happy. I feel like, especially after season 1 with Nami, it was just so rough, and like she was like slightly different demeanor wise because she was like she was in the trenches, mentally and physically, and but now she's happy, she's free, and she literally gets to like go shopping. She gets to be happy, and like you could just see she's living her best life. Literally, she's so happy. And Emily Rudd nails Nami's like joyful laughs when they are like at the top of Reverse Mountain. What is the peak thing? It's peak. It's so peak. I agree. And it's so peak they're at the peak of the mountain, like the game peak. I think she like watching it for the first time, like she's smiling and I'm like I'm smiling too. I'm happy for her. Damn good acting, Emily Rudd. I love her. I love seeing her joy. I'm just a huge Nami fan.
We did it!
It's the Grand Line.
I feel like she's just so true to Nami. She just does such a wonderful job. And I like Nami going to the front with Luffy. I liked that change, that Nami goes to the front and they're both kind of on Mary's head, like leaning on it on the way down. I thought that was silly, super sweet and silly to have that moment of them like both having so much fun and being like, we're going to the Grand Line. Like, oh, that was really, really lovely. Then they go. I loved Luffy being like, hey, Whale, get out of the way! You gotta get out of the way!
Hey, wow! Get out of the way!
Iñaki Godoy. I'm gonna be giving him a lot of praise this video. I'm a big fan. He just nails this role. That was hilarious. I was giggling. Then they go right into Laboon's mouth. And Luffy, like, flies onto the outside. So I'm like, I love the changes they made. Because of course I do. But I love that they're outside. Crocus and Luffy are outside of Laboon. I feel like it made it a lot more like Luffy had to have this sort of leadership moment and like this like, oh my god, like my friends could be dead, like dealing with these horrible things that he has to go through. But because he kind of deals with some captainy things later in this season, I felt like it was good to do that now as well. And also, I just feel like it made so much sense in so many ways. But they also still pay homage to the original source material, the manga, from my research, because I haven't read that yet. But that in the anime and the manga, they are inside Laboon, Crocus, and Luffy as well. And Crocus lives inside Laboon, has painted the big top of Laboon's belly inside to look like a sky. Like, that's all well and silly, but I feel like this was able to make it like, yeah, this is not realistic thing, but being, I don't know, like the tunnels and stuff and the door kind of made it a lot less like realistic. Whereas like obviously it's still like a fantasy show. Is it fantasy? Yeah, like fantasy. And it's not realistic to be inside of a whale. And there's just no organs or anything. The whole thing is just open like belly. But the lack of hallways and doors makes it still like, if you don't know whale anatomy, you won't think about it too much. You're like, this seems like it could be real. It's crazy, but still grounded in reality, you know? So I enjoyed that. And then, like, the introduction of Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday was perfect. Mr. Nine, let me look up this actor's name because, oh my god, he got this role and he said, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna eat up my screen time. Like, he did so good. It made me love Mr. Nine, and I never gave a shit about Mr. Nine. In the anime, I was like, alright, when is he gonna get off my screen? I literally could not care less. This cunty king, Daniel Lasker, I believe. Daniel Lasker. Oh my god, he just made Mr. Nine this character with such depth and he like his speaking intonation, his mannerisms, everything he brought to Mr. Nine was perfect, and I couldn't be happier. Like, God, you take the little characters and you give them life, and I appreciate that. The live action like put so much love into it. But yeah, their introductions were great. Sanji and Usopp having their little silly adventure was silly. I love it when we split off into little teams like Scooby Doo, and we get to see these dynamics between different sets of Straw Hats. It's just it really makes me happy. Um, Zoro's line, so it's a girl whale, whatever. Oh my god, I am so happy with the writing of this show. Like they do such a great amount of this is accurate, this is accurate. We added this funny line. We bro, I don't know. I'm just very I was dying. It was such a good line, such a funny line. Like it cracked me up and like I love that we got to see Zoro being silly and stupid and like that's just a himbo. He's just stupid. He's a stupid lost loser who's really cool and good at fighting and like kind of stoic. I love him. And then yeah, I loved that. I loved Nami and Miss Wednesday meeting. The fight was perfect. And then when the crew gets back and Sanji's like part of our crew's back and Sanji's like let her go, we look at them and oh my god, it's gay. And I couldn't be happier. I'm a big Nami Vivi shipper, and if you don't ship them, that's totally okay. But like, those are my Shaylas. They're in love, and she got away. I really felt fed as a Nami Vivi shipper. Also one thing about me and my One Piece ships, I have loyalty to some, but I'm also bisexual, and I like a lot of ships, and I don't have like I have a lot of love to go around. So I'm also a huge fan of like the Sanji and Nami dynamic we got in this season. Like Sanji and Zoro is number one, and Nami Vivi. Those are, but also sometimes Sanji and Nami their interactions make me yeah. But I really liked when Sanji told Zoro to ease up, where he was like, "Ease up, Mosshead." I felt like their little interactions were like I feel like that was like I can't explain it. Okay. I noticed that there was a change that in the anime and the manga, Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine were trying to kill Laboon for meat for their village, but in this it just seems like, or maybe they mentioned, I don't know. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I thought that they just like whoops they got swallowed by a whale. Oops, they were out doing their assassin things and they got swallowed by Laboon. There was no Miss Friday and Mr. 13 here. I feel like they weren't needed. And then Crocus in the live action gives them the log posts from the beginning. It's not like, oh, we found Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesdays and then broke it and then got the other. Like there were some silly bits in the anime and I couldn't tell you about the manga, but I liked how it was done in the live action. I thought that was nice. And we got to see like a moment of like character development with Nami and like feeling feeling kind of lost and unsure of her abilities now that they're in this new terrain and things are crazy and she needs reassurance from Crocus. I feel like there's a nice pep talk there, and then Zoro kind of is like, well, out of our elements where we tend to thrive best. Like they're comforting each other. I liked the rearranging of events that they did in live action. I feel like it was good. I loved Luffy mentioning to Don. I will not touch on it further in case that's something you don't know about, but some little things that they put, the thought was there and I screamed and I was very pleased. Thank you for that. 5 more minutes to Dawn. I screamed. Okay, now the big change in this, the big thing here. Yeah, there's some love the little Garp and Smoker conversations. Like, I feel like that was a good way to kind of like set things up. Laboon's backstory was nailed perfectly. I cannot. I love Laboon. I forgot to mention that we get to see Brooke. I'm so excited for you to come with us, Brooke. He's perfect. I love him. And his voice is beautiful. I'm so excited to see him. Evie helping save Usopp. That was really special. Like, I feel like I liked that moment. Okay, now the big change with Luffy singing to Laboon was such a nice touch. And like having heard it before because Shanks sang it to him was really sweet. Although he didn't say it outright, but I think we're supposed to assume it's Shanks. But him singing that, Iñaki Godoy, like he gave such a performance here, and it was so beautiful. Like, and his little people leave Laboon, but sometimes you end up somewhere you never thought you would, and you meet people who stay. And the line delivery was perfect, and then seeing Crocus crying, like that was, they added so much like meaning, and oh, that part breaks me. But like knowing Luffy's like thinking of like his crew, the people who stay, and like the people who've left, it, oh, sometimes you end up somewhere you never thought you would, and you'll meet people who stay. Oh my god. And his singing the song was so good, and like the way he's dancing around is brings me so much joy. He just like put his whole Lufosi into it, and I really love to see it. And we also got a kind of a dance move that's sort of started to look something like this, and I won't touch on that further, but I really liked that Iñaki, I don't know if it was him, a decision he made, because I know he likes to add things, or if it was kind of supposed to be there, but we saw that. But yeah, and then like the crew seeing Luffy again when they get out of the thing. Poor Usopp went through it. And like Luffy's reaction to seeing his crew again, and especially Luffy and Nami in this moment seeing each other again, was so sweet. Like tears. They just really nailed it. And I liked earlier when Luffy wakes up 5 more minutes to dawn, and then he like tries to run at Laboon, and then he's like on the edge of the cliff. I thought that was like silly. Kobe and Tashigi had some silly cute moments of like, hey. But I really love that they pay homage to the anime and the manga in that they're like, hey, you know, like there's a lot of space in there. You could live in there. And it's like, ah, that's so silly because in the OG they did. I love it when they do that. Like I love that like sometimes they change things to make more sense, or like they cut out Richie the lion, not like super vital, but then they're still like, hey, we didn't like forget about this, and then they nod to it, and I really like the nod to it. Like in season 1 when Buggy's like, and where was the dancing lion? And it's like, and we get to see in season 1, one thing that I was like sad to not see was Shushu, but we saw Shushu run by, like literally perfection. Nami's, I'm sure everyone's outfits are great, but as like a Nami lover, I love seeing the accurate, like the shirt, the blue shirt with the heart. They just added long sleeves for warmth, and then getting to see at the very end and going into Whiskey Business, the next episode, we see the mode shirt with the pink and the black. I love that shirt. I love that look with the like yellowy skirt. Oh my god, I love that look, and I want to cosplay that look. But yeah, literally just absolute perfection. Luffy's interaction with Laboon is so sweet. And I love it when they do the little comic strip like shots where it's like you see all the characters' reactions at once, and it's kind of like, hey, this is kind of like manga panels. There's so many just beautiful shots in this episode. Like god, this cinematic show. And then I like Tashigi's little dance when she's like, hey, I'm coming with you, the Grand Line, and he's like, whatever, and he's like, don't do a little dance, like and then we get the little line about Roger from Crocus. literally perfection. I have zero complaints. I'm very happy with everything. It was wonderful. And yeah. That's it for episode 2. That's all I have to say. But before I go, gather up all of the crew. Wait, lock in, girl, lock in. Yo ho ho ho, yo ho ho. Gather up all of the crew. It's time to ship out Binks's brew. Wave goodbye, but don't you cry. Our memories remain. And that line really hits me. Our days are but a passing dream, everlasting though they seem. Neath the moon we'll meet again, the winds are lullaby. I love, like, I love music, and, like, Iñaki Godoy's, like, little scene was, like, there was so much emotion in it that, like, I just, like, have fixated on that chunk that he sings in the episode, and I'll, like, play the YouTube video of that part over and over, and, like, joy. It fills me with joy. Oh, also, this is a Luffy shirt from season 1. Plan to cosplay that look if I'll ever finish my straw hat, but I love this song, actually. Like, it's so good. Yeah, no notes. 10 out of 10. See you for episode 3. Like and subscribe if you want to, and I love you. Bye.